Listening, fill in the blanks.
Let's start.
The headmaster at Msakini, Bernard Commanda, has strong views on the subject. He thinks food is a priceless teaching aid. Since 1999, his pupils have received free school lunches. Donors such as the World Food Programme, WFP, provide the food, those sacks of grain, mostly mixed maize, and soybean flour, enriched with vitamin A, in that converted classroom. Local volunteers do the cooking, turning the dry ingredients into a bland but nutritious slop and spooning it out onto plastic plates. The children line up in large crowds, cheerfully singing a song called "We Are Getting Porridge."
The good news about communication styles is that we have the ability to develop flexibility in our styles. The greater the flexibility we have, the more skilled we usually are at handling possible and actual conflicts, usually to us tend be relevant to us tend do so, either because we think it is important, or because there are incentives in our environment to encourage it. The key is that we have to want to become flexible with our communication style. As Henry Ford said, whether you think, you can or you can't, you're right.
The American Academy of Pediatrics recognizes 3 stages of adolescence. These are early, middle, and late adolescence, and each has its own developmental tasks teenagers move through. These tasks at their own speed depending on their physical development and hormone levels. Although these stages are common to all teenagers, each child will go through them in his or her own highly individual ways.
The adolescent must develop expanded verbal skills. As adolescents mature intellectually, as they face increased school demands, and as they prepare for adult roles, they must develop new verbal skills to accommodate more complex concepts and tasks. Their limited language of childhood is no longer adequate. Adolescents may appear less competent because of their inability to express themselves meaningfully.
In longleaf pine forests, trees grow widely scattered, creating an open, park-like environment, more like a savanna than a forest. The trees are not so dense as to block the sun. This openness creates a forest lower that is among the most diverse in the world, where plants such as many-lowered grass, pinks, trumpet pitcher plants, Venus lytraps, lavender ladies, and pineland bog buttons grow. As many as 50 different species of wildflowers, shrubs, grasses, and ferns have been catalogued in just a single square meter.
Most road and rail bridges are only inspected visually, if at all. Every few months, engineers have to clamber over the structure in an attempt to find problems before the bridge shows obvious signs of damage. Technologies developed at Los Alamos National Laboratory, New Mexico, and Texas A&M University may replace these surveys with microwave sensors that constantly monitor the condition of bridges.
At the beginning of the 20th century, grocery stores in the United States were full service. A customer would ask a clerk behind the counter for specific items, and the clerk would package the items, which were limited to dry goods. If they want to save some time, they have to ask a delivery boy or by themselves to send the note of what they want to buy to the grocery store first and then go to pay for the goods later. These grocery stores usually carried only one brand of each good. There were early chain stores, such as the A&P stores, but these were all entirely full service and very time-consuming.
Birds have many unique design features that enable them to perform such amazing feats of endurance. They are equipped with lightweight, hollow bones, intricately designed feathers, providing both lift and thrust for rapid flight, navigation systems superior to any that man has developed, and an ingenious heat-conserving design that, among other things, concentrates all blood circulation beneath layers of warm, waterproof plumage, leaving them fit to face life in the harshest of climates.
Such robots say much about the way in which we view humanity. And they bring out the best and worst of us. On one hand, these developments express human creativity, our ability to invent, experiment, and to extend our control over the world. On the other hand, the aim to create a robot, like a human being, is spurred on by dehumanized ideas, by the sense that human companionship can be substituted by machines, that humans lose their humanity when they interact with technology, or that we are a little more than surface and ritual behaviors that can be simulated with metal and electrical circuits.
Interest in hemispheres dates back to at least 1836. That year, at a medical conference, French physician Marc Dax reported on an unusual commonality among his patients. During his many years as a country doctor, Dax had encountered more than 40 men and women for whom speech was difficult, the result of some kind of brain damage. What was unique was that every individual suffered damage to the left side of the brain. At the conference, Dax elaborated on his theory, stating that each half of the brain was responsible for certain functions and that the left hemisphere controlled speech.
Like, share, subscribe the channel, and press the bell icon for further updates.